Good evening. The time is now 6 o'clock, and I would like to call the Beloit City Council meeting to order at this time. Can we have a roll call, please?
All councilors present.
Thank you. The next item is Pledge of Allegiance. Would you all please stand and join us in the pledge? Thank you. Next item, please.
Item 3 is special orders of the day and announcements. There are none. Item 4 is public hearings. 4A is consideration of ordinance number 3896, amending the future land use maps of the comprehensive plan for the property located at 1737 6th Street.
Julie?
1737 6th Street used to be a church, and the applicant has purchased that building with the intention to use it as a small grocery store and dine-in restaurant. And then another secondary use was potential for an ice cream shop. And so as it's zoned right now, that would not be an allowable use. So she has applied for a change in the comprehensive plan designation from established neighborhood to avenue mixed use, which is the first item on your agenda. And then she has also applied for rezoning from R2 to family residential district to C2 neighborhood commercial district. And Plan Commission did hold 2 public hearings, and no one from the public was there, opposed or against. And then we recently received a public comment from an adjacent property owner expressing opposition, citing traffic noise and increased activity as concerns resulting from the rezoning, and a copy of that email is included in your packet. Plan Commission did vote approval of both items 7-0, the first one on October 22nd and the second one on November 19th.
Thank you. At this time, I would open the public hearing on item 4A. Anyone wishing to speak on item 4A this evening, please step forward and state your name and your municipality. Second call, anyone wishing to speak on item 4A this evening. Third and final call, anyone wishing to speak on item 4A this evening. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing on item 4A and at this time entertain a motion.
President Levy, I'd like to move to suspend the rules.
There's been a motion by Councilor Terrell to suspend the rule and second by Councilor Dench. All those in favor of suspending the rules, say aye.
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 Now we'll move to the mayor's. All those approval, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes.
Mr. President, you would need a motion on that second item.
I apologize, so you got
Oh.
a motion by Terrell. Second by Dench. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes again. Item 4B, we did have the presentation. At this time, I would like to open the public hearing on item 4B. Anyone-
Also move to suspend the
Hold on,
rules.
let me open the public hearing to see if we have any comments.
Oh,
Anyone wishing to
sorry.
speak on item 4B this evening?
Or C, rather, Mr.
No,
President.
no, we're at 4B.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Second call, anyone wishing to speak on item 4B this evening? Third and final call, anyone wishing to speak on item 4B this evening? Seeing none, I would close the public hearing on item 4B and entertain a motion. Councilor Terrell.
Move to suspend the rules.
There's been a motion by Councilor Terrell to suspend the rules. If there's a second, second by Councilor Forback. All those in favor of suspending the rules, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes. Is there a motion to approve?
Move.
Motion by Terrell. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Blakely. Questions, comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes. Next item, please.
Item 4C is consideration of ordinance number 3898, amending the future land use maps of the comprehensive plan for the property located at 1702 Harrison Avenue.
Julie?
Stacy Stackhouse has purchased 1702 Harrison Avenue. This is a property that was built as a single-family home in 1920 and included a detached garage. Sometime in the 50s or 60s, the structures were connected and turned into two dwelling units. We did find the intensive survey from 81, which shows them as two homes connected with the garage. It was downzoned in 99, legal nonconforming use until it was vacated in 2013. So now she's wanting to put some work into this structure and to basically reoccupy those two units. We are supportive of this as we do have a shortage of units, and this would easily open up another unit. But in order to allow that, it would need a change in the future land use map from avenue mixed use to established neighborhood. And it would also need a change in zoning from R1B single family residential district to R2 two-family residential district. Plan Commission held a public hearing on this. The applicant came, but no one else from the neighborhood came out, so they recommended approval 7-0 of both items.
Thank you. At this time, I would like to open up the public hearing on item 4C. Anyone wishing to speak on item 4C, please step forward. Give your name and your municipality. Anyone wishing to speak on item 4C? Second call, anyone wishing to speak on item 4C? Third and final call, anyone wishing to speak on item 4C this evening? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing on item 4C and entertain a motion.
I would move that we hold this item over for a second reading at our next meeting.
There's been a motion to lay over. Is there a second? Second by Terrell. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of laying this over to our next meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. 4D. At this time, I would open the public hearing on item 4D. Anyone wishing to speak on item 4D this evening, please step forward. Second call, anyone wishing to speak on item 4D. Third and final call, anyone wishing to speak on item 4D. Seeing none, I would entertain a motion on item 4D. Motion by Adama to lay this over. Is there a second? Second by Dench. Any questions or comments? All those in favor of laying this over, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Next item, please.
Item 4E is consideration of Resolution 2025-157, approving a planned unit development master land use plan for the property located at 3010 Ford Street.
Julie.
So this is a vacant lot out by the hotel on the interstate. And they have proposed the construction of a new 16,525 square foot Gerber collision and glass facility. They essentially would like to provide less parking than is required by code. And also there's some sign stuff in here, which they were requesting as well. So sometimes we're using this PUD as a way to reduce parking that isn't needed on a site, because we don't want to overpark sites. We don't want to build bigger parking lots than we actually need. And so they are, based on their parking operations analysis at other Gerber facilities, they're requesting 42 parking stalls as opposed to the 56 required by code. And then they're proposing a ground-mounted monument sign that meets the outdoor sign regulations. But they also desire a larger wall sign in the building that exceeds what would be allowed in the C3 district. So the proposed wall sign at 58 square feet is in scale with the building and will allow customers to differentiate the customer entrance from other entrances and gates on the property. Allowable signage is approved as part of a PUD master land use plan. The first item on your agenda is the actual resolution which approves the PUD, and so it is approved, if you approve it, subject to attachment A. And generally, it's the stuff I've already gone over, but there is a section in here about requiring access for fire, which there's language in there that spells that out. But otherwise, it's the basic building, which is shown as part of the PUD final plan. Yeah, there's a lockbox or access code for the gates to be screened to the screened parking and storage area. Will be coordinated with the city fire department to circulate the site in an emergency. And then the final location and design of driveways will be approved as part of the PUD final plan review process. So you are approving it subject to all those conditions in there. And then the second item is to actually rezone the property from C3 to PUD. And this does comply with the comprehensive plan, so no change for that. And Plan Commission reviewed this application on November 19th and voted 7-0 to approve both items.
Thank you. At this time, I would like to open the public hearing on item 4E. Anyone wishing to speak on item 4E this evening, please step forward. Second call, anyone wishing to speak on item 4E this evening? Third and final call, anyone wishing to speak on item 4E this evening? Seeing none, I would close the public hearing on item 4E and entertain a motion to approve.
I move to approve.
Motion by Blakely, second by Dench. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of approval say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes. Item 4F. At this time, I would like to open the public hearing on item 4F. Anyone wishing to speak on item 4F this evening, please step forward. Second call, anyone wishing to speak on item 4F. Third and final call, anyone wishing to speak on item 4F. Seeing no one, I would close the public hearing on item 4F and entertain a motion to lay this over.
I so move.
Motion by Forback, second by Day. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of laying this over, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. That's laid over to our next meeting. Next item, please.
Item 4G is public hearing and consideration of an application for a new Class A intoxicating liquor license, accompanied by a petition to exceed geographic concentration restrictions for Liberty Gas Mart Incorporated, located at 1407 Liberty Avenue, Harjinder Samra, agent.
Beth?
Liberty Gas Mart at 1407 Liberty currently holds a Class A fermented beverage license, which is commonly known as a beer license. The business is requesting a Class A intoxicating liquor license for the period ending June 30, 2026. The proposed location is within 1,050 feet of a speedway located at 1107 Liberty, another Class A license establishment. City ordinance prohibits new Class A licenses within 1,050 feet of another Class A licensee. The applicant must obtain council approval to exceed this geographic restriction. Back in 2020, this council passed an ordinance that did try to restrict the number of Class A's that were close to each other within the community. This applicant in 2022 applied for 3 of their establishments. 1 license was granted at 1902 Chaupier. The other 2 were denied. The excerpts from the minutes were included in your council packet for review. In order to petition for the geographic restrictions to be waived, the petitioner must give you a business plan outlining their experience, background, and signatures. They have to have proof of property ownership or contractual control. They have to have a statement on the economic impact beyond just adding another Class A license, and they must provide a statement about community benefit through the tax base improvement, either building rehabilitation, new construction, or substantial improvement. Included in your packet this evening was the application for the Class A license, the petition itself, a neighborhood impact survey, and a map of the Class A license holders. We also have Captain Mullen here from the police department to speak to any calls for service if you do have any questions about that. So as a reminder, tonight you have 2 resolutions to take action on. The first is whether or not to exceed the petition or have a petition to exceed the geographic restrictions. That decision requires an affirmative vote of 2/3 of the body. Second is the resolution that grants the underlying application for the Class A intoxicating liquor license, and that decision requires a simple majority of council. I'm happy to take any questions if you have any.
Thank you. At this time, I would like to open the public hearing on item 4G. Anyone wishing to speak on item 4G, please step forward at this time. State your name and your municipality, please.
Good evening, council members. My name is Jaspreet Gill, and I am the owner of Liberty Gas Mart. Our family has been in this business for 20 years, and we take great pride in serving our community responsibly. I'm here today to petition to exceed the geographic concentration restrictions for the Class A liquor license at our location, and I understand and respect that the city worked diligently to make these restrictions. But I also understand this ordinance was put in place to allow to exceed these restrictions when certain requirements were met. One such requirement was demonstrating greater economic impact, and another was substantially improving the tax base, like rehabilitating a deteriorated building. A while back, we purchased 2 residential properties. Behind our site, we removed the structures and combined the 3 lots to build an entirely new facility. If you see on our business plan, it has a picture of it, and hopefully everybody kind of drove past it and saw. When we presented these plans, the council members actually expressed enthusiasm and noted that this project aligned with the city goals 3 and 4, creating and sustaining economic and residential growth, promoting a high quality of life, and it also was noted that this development would support economic and substantiability by fostering business growth. As small business owners, we are present at our location daily. We take great pride in how our businesses are operated and maintained. All employees are properly trained, and we strictly enforce ID verification. So all IDs are scanned for liquor, beer, tobacco. And we do not accept any expired IDs or accept IDs on phones. We have a zero tolerance policy in place for any violations. The city of Beloit is very close to our hearts, and I believe that small businesses are the backbone of this city. And license like this allows us to be able to compete with the larger corporations. So we understand the significant responsibility that comes with this liquor license, and we take that responsibility very seriously. We respectfully ask that you judge us by what we have done, not by fear, assumption, or who we are not. Our actions show responsibility, cooperation, and genuine care for Beloit. This city is our home, and this business is our livelihood, and we ask for your approval so we can continue serving Beloit responsibly. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Anyone else wishing to speak on item 4G? Please step forward and give your municipality.
Good evening. My name is Darcy Ware. I live on Bootmaker here in Beloit. I've worked with the Samra family for nearly 18 years. Currently, I overlook 5 of their locations. I take pride in maintaining clean, well-organized businesses while operating them responsibly. I have maintained good relationships with local law enforcement, and I make it a priority to prevent loitering and any activity that could negatively affect our business and our neighborhoods. Sorry. Our locations are managed responsibly with safety and compliance as top priorities. I'm honored to be treated like family and grateful for the trust that I have been given. Anyone that knows me knows that I take that responsibility seriously. I'm committed to continue operating a way that reflects positively on our business and our city. I respectfully ask for your approval as we continue to serve Beloit responsibly. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak on item 4G? Third and final call. Anyone wishing to speak on item 4G? Seeing none, I would close the public hearing on item 4G and entertain a.
The first is Resolution 2025-178, which is approving the petition to exceed the geographic restrictions.
Okay.
I so move.
And I will second that.
Motion by Forback, second by Blakey. Any questions or comments? Counselor Day?
Did you want to go?
No, Counselor Day, and then we'll go to Counselor O'Donnell.
Okay. So, yeah, thank you for coming here tonight. I was one of the counselors that voted against the property last time, 3 years ago. But I want to thank you for making the investment on that property on the west side. So you did well, looks very good. So we're happy for that. So thank you from the city. I do think that you have complied with these 4 items. C basically is the most important, which is a great impact on the economy in the city. And then D, you actually did do well by increasing our tax base by building that new facility. So thank you for that. I just wanted to mention that. That's it.
Counselor O'Donnell?
I had two questions. One of them is, how close is it to the Speedway?
It's within 1,050 feet.
Do you know, like,
Do
okay,
not
no
know.
worries. I live on Liberty, and I'm actually right next to it. I didn't know the Speedway over there even could sell liquor. And that's what I was gonna ask. What alcohol license does the Speedway have?
They have, I can look it up for you, hold on.
Okay,
But your next question, I'll let you know when I have an answer.
all right. That was the only other one I had.
Okay.
Because I don't know if I've ever seen liquor at that Speedway, and that's why I was just kind of surprised, so.
Counselor Terrell?
Oh,
Oh, did you
done
have
using-
something to say?
all right. I'd like to speak out in favor of approving this for multiple reasons. First of all, I've been knowing these people, the owners of this business for quite a long time, almost since I was a kid. And I can tell you right now, growing up and going to some of their business, I have seen Darcy personally take very serious how business is conducted in there. They even have a honorable wall of shame for people who comes in there and does things unethically in their businesses, rather than stealing or coming in with fake license or anything. And I've seen her come from behind the counter and ask people to leave who was coming in causing issues. And they will go out in the parking lot and remove people who are out there causing issues. I've seen that personally over the years, even since before I came on the council. I do know that the family has also been good with hiring people, local people, known people who can identify those who do come into the stores and, might be using fake IDs, which goes against everything that we speak out against as far as alcohol use. I've seen a number of things that they've done well, and especially since we awarded them that liquor license over there on Mobile. That's actually a gas station I go to. Some people in my family go to all the time. I'm very friendly people that work there, and like I say, my family goes there. They never heard anything unethical going on there, and I can say just through my experience and the experience of everybody that I know, I've never heard anything bad about how they conduct business. So I want to speak out in favor of them because they have been in the city doing business for a long time. They do hire local faces that know local people, and I think this would be a good thing for the city as well, especially when it comes to expanding our tax base. So just wanted to leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Counselor Dench?
I just wanted to speak on the matter of the geographic concentration, since the previous council had put that into effect. And then at some point since then, that was only a few years ago, granted it at the corner of Prairie and Chopir. And not only are there 2 at that location, there are 3 in even closer proximity than this will be to the Speedway. So I see no reason to deny that request. That's all.
Thank you.
I do have an answer to Councilmember Adama's question. They have just an A beer license at Speedway.
Okay.
Anyone else? So for me, been down here several years, and Marty, I constantly speak about consistency. And one thing I look at with sign ordinances and any ordinance that we put in place, I'm one of the main ones saying, why do we have an ordinance if we're going to go against it? So when I read things like this, I look at it and I take it very seriously. To Councilor Dench's point, we've already stepped away from the ordinance when we granted it before. And I think at that particular time, for that particular discussion, if I remember correctly, I think the conversation centered around denying this this applicant when we had, as Councilor Dench said, other areas or other services around there that was selling alcohol as well. So for me, then you go and you look at the requirements for someone to even apply for this, and we said that they met all of that. And we look at what it's doing for the community. And I think one of the reasons we put this ordinance into place along with other ones, because some of you may remember years ago, we had a huge issue with underage selling. And I'm not saying for this establishment or this owner, but several businesses were underage drinking and loitering outside their facilities. And we had massive problems with businesses such as this. But I think in my tenure here on the council, seeing what this owner has done to his establishments by not just selling alcohol or other items, as Councilor Terrell said, he's put an investment into the community that I think every business he owns, he's upgraded and made the neighborhood look better. And just knowing that they're involved in the community and seeing exactly that when you go in there, Councilor Terrell is correct. There's always somebody from the family or Darcy. They're in there, and they're not in there just stocking shelves. They're actually walking around and making sure that this business is running the way that it's supposed to. And so when I look at that, and we've already kind of not set a precedent, but already gotten away from saying the geographical concentration, I think I'm kind of leaning with everyone else that this could be okay to do, especially when you have a business owner that puts investment into the city as much as he has, not only for this location, but for all of them. That shows that no one's going to put a lot of money in or in businesses and then let it fail, or let the city come back and say, you're not doing what you're supposed to do, we're going to revoke your alcohol license. Now, I do say this because we do have businesses that come to us over and over again that says, if I am not allowed to sell alcohol, I'm going to go out of business. To my knowledge, I've never heard that from this owner. I've heard that I would like it. If you don't give it to me, I'm okay. I'll have to figure out another way to do it. So I never buy that anyway, because I think there's businesses out there, if you don't sell alcohol, you're still doing okay. So I guess before we move forward to the vote, I guess I want to hear from the police department, or if there's any concerns at that location. I don't think we had a lot of residents that spoke up and said, don't do it. I haven't heard that report. But I guess the other thing that I weigh my decision on is how many calls have we had there, and how much trouble, if any, that we've had.
Good evening, Council. So the crime analyst and myself spent some time looking at the calls for service and looking at the impact study and stuff. I can tell you from some of the complaints that were not in favor of it, a total of 32 residents were checked. 10 were in favor, 15 no answer, 2 were neutral, 5 opposed. And some of those were because that there was a concern of increased homeless citizens, trouble with foot traffic, littering, being loud, bringing more problems, getting crazy enough, litter, and loud people. In researching the calls for service at that address, there's only 3 loud noise complaints, 2 in 2020 and 1 in 2021. And there has been no loud noise complaints at 1407 Liberty since 2021. In reference to calls for service at 1407 Liberty, they're pretty minimal. There's no serious calls for service. There was no alcohol violations noted at either 1407 Liberty or at 1902 Chaupier. In fact, most of the calls for service over the year at Liberty Gas Mart have been pretty consistent in the 25 to 30 calls for service range, and those varied everywhere from 911 calls all the way down. That does not include business checks, security checks, follow-ups, or traffic stops at that location, which accounted for over half the calls for service.
Thank you. So with that being said, we do have a motion and a second to exceed the geographical concentration. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes. Now to the merits. Is there a motion?
You have Resolution 2025-179 approving the Class A intoxicating liquor license for Liberty Gas Mart.
Move to approve.
Motion by Terrell, is there a second? Second by Dench. Questions or comments? See none. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes.
Excellent.
7-0. Next item, please.
Excuse me.
Item 5 is public comment.
We have reached the point on the agenda for residents to speak to the council about issues that are coming before us or may come before us in the future. Council members may not act on any request at this meeting, but may refer speaker to staff for assistance. We ask that you hold your comments to 3 minutes or less and refrain from personal attacks of any kind. Public comment is a courtesy, and we expect everyone to conduct themselves in a civil manner. Speakers are asked to complete a public comment form. Madam Clerk, was there any forms completed today?
Yes, I have one from James Simmons.
Please step forward and state your name and your municipality, and you will have 3 minutes.
My name is, excuse me, James Simmons, Beloit, interim city manager, council president Kevin Levy, vice president James Day, and the school board, Beloit City Council. My name is James Simmons. I'm here representing the Johnny Watts family myself to present to the Beloit City Council on this day, December 15th, 2025, a plaque thanking the City Council for their involvement in the celebration on November 13th, 2025 at Beloit Memorial High School for the celebration of the naming of the basketball court at the Barkin Arena, the Johnny Watts Court. This plaque was given to persons and organizations that contributed to this process. These plaques were made by the students of Beloit Memorial High School. The following quote came from Tony Evers, the governor of the state of Wisconsin, after hearing of the Beloit City Council recognition in a form from the Office of Governor, Certificate of Commendation. I'll just read the last paragraph. Now therefore, Tony Evers, governor of the state of Wisconsin, do hereby commend the school district of Beloit for recognizing and honoring the athletic feats and societal impact of Johnny Watts, and wish everyone involved a successful event done on this 3rd day of November 2025, Governor Tony Evers. This completes the storied tradition of the Beloit Memorial High School basketball program from Bernie Barkin, who contributed much more to the youth of Beloit than just his coaching abilities, and Johnny Watts, who served as a trailblazer for the time he lived in. In conclusion, the following 2 words sum up this presentation. These 2 words are written under Johnny's 1934 senior picture in the Beloit High School yearbook by his peers. Enough said. Thank you. So who should I leave this?
President.
Thank you very much for that. It was unexpected, but we appreciate it. And I think that just goes to show that I've said before, that Beloit is full of people that care, people that honor their own. So thank you for doing that, and we greatly appreciate that award. So anyone else, any other forms completed?
No more forms.
Is there anyone who would like to speak under public comments that did not have the opportunity to complete a form? Please step forward at this time and give your name and your municipality.
Good evening. Marty Farr, 1715 Harrison, Beloit, Wisconsin, native Beloiter. My comment a little bit is about traffic in Beloit, especially the 1700 block of Harrison, which I live in. When they changed Henry Avenue to one-lane traffic each way, our block on Harrison has become like the main thoroughfare. And there's so much traffic on there where you can't hardly come out of your driveway sometimes. And Beloit has not enforced traffic laws because we've had semis come down that street. We've had straight trucks come down the street. And so I would like to have anything that would stop the traffic. I know in Beloit they don't like to do rumple strips, but we need those too to slow the traffic down because it T-bones at Summit there. And then also, I want to comment on 1702 Harrison. They want to change that from a one single family to a 2-unit. And I'm opposed to that because that's going to bring more traffic. So take that in consideration, and thank you.
And so what I would do is, we usually refer this to the correct department, so I would ask if our chief could take the address and maybe get with former officer Farr and kind of talk about what we can do, or just see what we can do, and then just kind of get back to us and let us know how the discussion went. We would greatly appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, also, Mr. President, former state trooper Farr. I know traffic.
I would get there, Marty. No. Come forward, state your name and your municipality, please.
Wayne Williams. I live at 1708 Harrison. Live right across the street from Marty for 52 years. There's never been a problem on that street until recently. Like he said, with the zoning of closing Henry, now we don't have plows plow down the street. Right now, our street is full of ice. They don't plow, they don't saw it. I even seen the city hit the street sign just last week. Got out, picked it up, threw some sand in the corner, drove off. Didn't plow, didn't do nothing. There's also an issue with the 1702 Harrison. I want to deny that too because my mom lived right next door. Have lived there forever. With her having a place at 1716 Harrison, she called it adult family home. She have several employees there. They block us in where we can't get out our driveway. They block Marty in where he can't get in his driveway. They park on the opposite side of the street. Police ride right down the street. Don't give them a ticket. Signs right there. Do not park on this side of the street. Do it anyway. It's an issue. You know, can't nobody get in, can't nobody get out. They speed down the street. There's always accidents on there. I mean, something got to be done about this.
Okay.
With the house next door, she wanted to change it from single to adult. And there's going to be more issues with parking. Now, right behind that is 1703 Park, which used to be the old Gearhart's TV place, which I used to work at until I graduated school and went to the military. But now they use the back end of that building where they have parties every Friday, Saturday. You know, it's loud music all the time. My mom is old, Marty old. I mean, they done had to run people last year 10 times out my mom's backyard because they back there partying, playing in my mom's backyard. I mean, something got to be done about it.
Okay, thank you. So we already turned it over to the chief, so she'll be talking. And if you two could probably just hang out a little bit after the meeting, just in case she needs more additional information, she can look into that for you.
All right.
Okay,
Kevin.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak? Please come forward and state your name and your municipality, please.
Hi, my name is Stacy Stackhouse. I am the owner of 1702, the property there. And so it's vacant, so you have vandalism, so I'm trying to fix it up. Before I didn't own the place, they had a whole corporate that owned it, that they let a whole bunch of properties just go on the lakeside. So you're going to get vandalism, you're going to get people there because it's been vacant for so long. So I'm trying to rehab, I'm trying to fix it up, so I'm trying to rezone it. As far as making a 2-unit so that when people come there, and I'm trying to fix it up so it won't be like that. The problem is that yes, they don't sit there and plow the street, but also You can't control parking on the side of the street. That's the city. I pay for that as well. So that's my property. And that's all I have to say.
And so if I could just make a suggestion for
Okay.
everyone that just spoke, the last three, if we can all kind of get together and say, hey, this is what we really, how can we work together? Because I grew up on Harrison too, so I know exactly where everybody is talking about. So if we could, maybe just talk and then follow up with the chief and, as far as the parking and stuff, but see if there's anything that we can do to kind of work together as neighbors to what is going to be the best outcome.
And I also would like to say, as far as the Gearhart, that, I mean, yeah, they do have parties over there, but I think that's rezoned, or zoned a different, I don't know what it's zoned as, but yes, they do. But every time something is vacant, people go in there, so I'm trying to keep people from not being in there. I even install cameras. I can't control that. That's why I'm trying to fix it up and trying to rehab it.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak under public comments? Final call, anyone wishing to speak? Anyone else wishing to speak under public comments? Do we have any emails sent in?
Emails.
Okay, at this point, we will close public comments and go to the next item, please.
Item 6 is consent agenda. All items listed under the consent agenda are considered routine and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered at this point on the agenda.
Would anyone like anything removed from the consent agenda? Seeing no one, is there a motion to approve? Motion by Terrell, second by Dench. Any questions or comments? All those in favor of approval say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. Next item, please.
Item 7 is licenses. There are none. Item 8 is ordinances. 8A is consideration of ordinance number 3899, establishing yield signs on Shady Lane at Elmwood Avenue.
We did have a presentation on this before. This is on our agenda for a second reading. Is there a motion to approve?
I so move.
Motion by Blakely. Is there a second? Second by Forbeck. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of approval say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes. Next item, please.
Item 8B is consideration of ordinance number 3900 to remove no parking restrictions on 10th Street between Liberty Avenue and Middle Street.
This is also on our agenda for a second reading. We did have a presentation. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Dench. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Terrell. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of approval say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes. Next item, please.
Item 8C is consideration of ordinance number 3903 to repeal section 18.02, subsection 23, subsection D, subsection 5, and to amend section 14.19 of the Code of General Ordinances pertaining to the removal of dog park and boat launch permitting and fees.
Attorney Krieger.
The ordinance that you have before you makes changes to the city ordinance by eliminating permit requirements in two specific areas, or the fees for permits. The first is dog parks. The ordinance removes a dog park permit requirement previously found in section 1802 of the Beloit Municipal Code. Dog owners are currently required to secure a permit before they can use the dog park, with fees set by council resolution. This ordinance will remove the permit requirement and also remove the fee. Second is the boat launch permits and fees related to those. Here you have the removal of the fees and the permits. The rules regarding parking at that boat launch still stay in effect. They just do not have to pay a permit or display the permit or pay the fee. The fees for the boat launch were essentially like, you come, you pay, and if you didn't pay, there wasn't a ton of enforcement. So it is thought that the administrative costs related to both of the enforcement of both of these fees is not worth the fees that are actually obtained. So they relate to the master fee schedule that you adopted under the consent agenda, and certainly happy to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you. This is on our agenda for a first reading. Is there a motion to lay this over?
So moved.
Motion by Dench, second by Day. Any questions or comments?
I have a comment. I mean,
Councilman Forbeck.
this is really pretty nice. I don't remember really discussing this, but it seems delightful to me for our people. I know I have a lot of dogs in my family, and when people come, you know, our dog park is really nice, and everybody will be delighted for this, so I'm feeling positive about this.
Okay. Anyone else? There's a motion and a second to lay this over. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Next item, please.
Item 9 is appointments.
Is there a motion, I'm sorry, is there a motion to approve the appointment?
I so move.
Could we hear
Motion-
what the
Yeah, I'm
appointment
gonna
is?
have her read them, so as I get the motion and
Oh,
a second.
sorry
Motion
about
by
that.
Terrell, second by Forback. Can you read the appointments,
Yes.
please?
So for Appointment Review Committee, Mikhail Cooks, Christian Moore, and Mary Ann Watson. For the Business Improvement District, Matt Lee, Barbara Schultz, Nicole Chadwick, and Stephanie Knupel. For Community Development Authority, James White. And for the Municipal Golf Committee, Harold Wiersgala.
Thank you. So we do have a motion and a second. All those in approval say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes. Next item, please.
Is counselor activities and upcoming events.
No report. Counselor Blakely.
I just have a brief report to let everybody know that there's a lot going on at Beloit Public Library between now and Christmas. Tomorrow evening, Tuesday, in the community room, there's Jane Austen's 250th birthday party. Yeah, I don't think she'll be there in person, but there'll be a stand-in. And this is a program for teens and adults. There'll be a showing of the movie Pride and Prejudice, and there will be games like movie bingo, crafts, and refreshments such as tea, hot chocolate, and treats. So it sounds like a nice evening, and that's for teens and adults. And then coming up on Wednesday is another in the classic film series at the library. This is for adults. It's the movie Breakfast at Tiffany's, Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m., and there will be free refreshments. So I hope you feel up to getting out in the chilly weather and enjoying these things at the library. Keep an eye on their website because they have a lot going on right now. Thank you.
Counselor Donald.
No activities, but I just want to kind of give some feelings for Beloit and especially the people that I grew up with and the community as a whole. It's been really hard over the last few years, but especially this last season. We're getting hit with a lot of stuff. I'm really sad that so many of the people I grew up with pass away so often. I know that it's really hard for people, and I hope people are speaking to each other and really like leaning into the fact that this is a time where we're supposed to be holding each other and being around each other and really center our families and care, and that the only way, as cliche as it is, that this community will get better and grow and improve is if we do it together. So that's just what I want to say.
Thank you. Counselor Terrell.
Nothing to report. Happy
Counselor-
holidays, everybody.
Counselor Forback.
No report, other than people have been enjoying a lot of the things that have been going downtown and on around the whole community, so I love to see that. Merry Christmas.
Counselor Day.
Just, we won't see everybody till the 5th. That's our next meeting, so I just want to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody. It's here. Thank you.
And I would like to say happy holidays as well, and then I would also like to congratulate Rebecca on her new position as the clerk treasurer, so congratulations on that wonderful promotion. And I was going to welcome the chief to the first meeting, but she's outside talking to
Yeah, I was too.
she's out talking to the constituents, so she's already out there dealing with that, so we want to just welcome her to her first meeting as well. With that ends council activity and upcoming events. Next item, please.
Item 11 is city manager presentation. There is none. Item 12 is reports from boards and city officers. Item 12A is consideration of resolution 2025-162 approving the 2026 Business Improvement District operating plan and budget.
Shauna.
It's coming. Thanks. It's okay. Okay. Sorry. Thank you for having me tonight. Oh, it came and it went. That's okay. I can do it without it if you need me to. It's fine. Thanks to Marty for being on our board yet again. So he's been able to hear this already, but as a little refresher for everybody else, I just wanted to go through some things if you're not familiar with everything downtown Beloit does. That way you know a little bit about what we've done this year. So we had 4 new businesses this year. We had over $3 million in private investment, so pretty good in that regards. We gave out some facade grants, some sign grants. We have our downtown Beloit gift card program. That is good at all the 180 businesses downtown, so it's one gift card, does it all. And it's fee-free through the end of the year. So if you're thinking about those Christmas presents and hostess gifts, come down and see me. We have a beautification program downtown that is what keeps downtown pretty. We do take grant funds from that and donor funds for that program. And then we continued our SNAP program. That is the EBT program that we have for the farmers market that is year-round. So we have the EBT program still going on. And SSM Health has been gracious enough to give us $6,000 every year towards that program. So when a person comes to the farmers market tent, they swipe their card, they get $15 matching funds every month from SSM Health. And currently we're at a 1% vacancy rate. So we have very few vacancies, which is amazing. We had a couple of different art projects happen this year. We got a new mural at Beloit Art Center, which we were gracious enough to give $1,500 grant to that program. On the flip side, we received money from Visit Beloit, and thanks to them, we installed 5 new electrical box wraps. So we're hoping to do 7 more next year. We had lots of success at all of our events, except for one, which was our fall festival. It just wasn't a great night. Last year got rained out, but this year just wasn't great. So we're actually going to not do that one. But everything else on our list was amazing and well attended, including the Grand Lighted Holiday Parade, which was just a couple weeks ago. Thousands of people outside, lots of floats, very cold, but we make it work with fireworks. Makes it exciting. Holidazzle was also great, and we expanded it to Halloweekend. So we had hot cocoa crawl and a bar crawl on Saturday. So lots of fun stuff. Things we hosted this past year, we were able to have an equitable entrepreneurial ecosystem, say that 5 times fast, and we've been able to work on entrepreneur development in downtown Beloit. The graphic that you see there is a placeholder for the program that we're doing, and that will have a landing page on the thisisbeloit.com website that I hope you're all familiar with. We hosted WDAC in May, and we hosted a retail merchandising tech visit this year as well. Next year, we're going to be doing a social media tech visits for our 180 businesses, so that'll be exciting. Next year, like I mentioned, we are working on mural projects and electrical boxes, so we want to do those still. And then different opportunities to bring speakers into our businesses. So we have businesses ranging from 1 person all the way up to 100 employees. So we want to make sure that we're bringing in speakers that are appropriate. And then bringing in, hopefully next year, a new kiosk to downtown Beloit and new banners. So that's on the horizon. And now for the fun part, our budget. So we have a very lean budget every year. We have a very small staff. It's just myself, 1 full-time promotions coordinator, and 2 streetscape coordinators. But we make it all happen very well downtown. So for revenue, we're looking at $397,596, and that includes the assessment of a little over $168,000 from our property owners. And our expenses are very lean in what we do. So our net income would be $32,000 or $3,200. I wish $32,000. $86. But we have an estimated carryover of $195,000, and that, if you look in our budget, actually is so that way if we had a catastrophic failure of some sort, we would have at least 5 months of operating budget on hand in case something were to happen. Any questions?
Hi, I'm just wondering, I saw the 195. Is that just multiple years of not spending all that you thought you needed to, and so you just keep carrying it over?
Yeah, a few projects have been waylaid, including the kiosk and the banners have been on the horizon for several years. We just haven't been able to make those happen. We need an ordinance amendment in order to get the kiosk, because right now we have a paper kiosk. We want a digital kiosk to get up with the times, and that needs an ordinance amendment, which Drew has been helping with. So we have that, and then we want new banners. So we've been working on those projects. We just haven't been able to get them approved yet.
Okay, so who needs to approve them?
Well, the ordinance amendment needs to come to council, and Drew has been working on that.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I have a comment.
Councilor Blakely.
Thank you very much, sir. Well, I would just like to compliment you on what DBA has done for the downtown and on the downtown as a whole. I hear it both from local residents, and when I'm out shopping, I often run into people from out of town who are so amazed at all the positive changes in our downtown.
Thank you.
So I appreciate it, and a lot of other people do as well.
Thank you. I love it.
Councilor Dench.
Sitting on the board and seeing just how much energy that Shauna and her staff bring, and also the downtown business owners who are on the board. Those meetings are actually rather lively, and it's fun watching them come up with new ideas, planning some of the events that they do. And so much of the development that's gone on downtown with refurbishing the buildings and so on, getting new businesses, probably wouldn't have happened, at least wouldn't have happened to this level of success we've seen if it hadn't been for the DBA, Shauna's efforts and those of her staff. And again, kudos to the board as well. She works very well with them. They're all united behind that same purpose, just to make the downtown Beloit the best possible downtown that it can be. So thank you very much, Shauna.
Thank you.
So then I have a question. So the kiosk and the banners, you're saying that will add to the downtown Beloit?
Yes, add beautification. So when we have tourists coming, they don't always look at a website. They don't always look at our newsletter or anything else. But a kiosk on the corner, usually tourists look for a kiosk in a downtown and they say, what's going on today? What can I find today? So that's where we put all the current events that are happening that weekend. And if we had a digital kiosk, we'd be able to streamline that and make it more current. Currently, it's paper. The weather hits it, it's not great, it's not legible, it's not readable. So a digital kiosk would be able to let us have that up-to-date information on what you should see this weekend while you're here. We are a huge tourist community, thanks to our community members who maybe not know that, but we are a huge community tourist destination.
So I guess my next question is, and I don't know if I need to ask it to you or Drew, where are we at with the ordinance that needs to come before us for the banners and the kiosk? If we think this is going to help take our downtown to the next level, I guess, do we know a time frame for the ordinance or that we can see it? I mean, I just believe in like continuing to move things forward. If this is something, I'm sorry, Drew, if I caught you off guard, but I'm just saying if we think that's going to enhance the downtown, is there a way that?
Yeah, these are a couple long-term projects. We can certainly discuss them tomorrow at our regular department head meeting and kind of do a reset. They've been talked about, to Shauna's point, by the board on previous occasions. But I don't see a huge budgetary impact other than the fact that GBDC and the DBA have both budgeted small amounts for these types of longer-term projects over the last couple of years.
Okay, so then I guess then my ask would be, Shauna, Drew, and the interim city manager, if this was a way that we could get it on the agenda for tomorrow, for the department heads to talk about, if you have your meeting tomorrow or something, or.
Sure, I'll get brought up to speed on some things that were lingering, and we'll make sure that we get something done.
Okay.
As soon as we're able.
Okay, appreciate that. So, thank you. Any other questions? See none. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
You need a motion to approve the
Motion
resolution?
to approve.
I move that we approve the budget for the Downtown Business Improvement District.
Motion by Dench, second by Terrell. Questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes. Next item, please.
Item 12B is consideration of Resolution 2025-175, adopting the 2026 strategic plan for the city of Beloit.
City Manager Krieger.
So annually, the council adopts a strategic plan, and this year we didn't hold a workshop, but they did talk about it during the budget process. And so what I did for the meeting this evening was take the 2025 strategic plan and update it to take care of the completed items and remove those, and then also to add in those projects that are major projects for our community that have not yet been added to the strategic plan. I'll just like to walk through the plan changes if we could. If you go to page 4 of the plan, you have just the clarification regarding our community revitalization. We did have a partnership with Axe Housing. We have sold all of those properties, and so we do have some vacant land that we are going to be trying to develop at some point, but we'd also like to measure our commitment to our nonprofit agencies and those that receive home ownership assistance through our home and CDBG funds. If you look further down to F, we have added a number of fire department related items, mostly related to inspections of commercial property. We want to try to get that in the mix with regard to our strategic plan to make sure we're devoting the resources necessary to make sure those commercial inspections, which are required by statute, take place. If you go to Goal 2, the most primary thing that you'll be working on the first half of 2026 is to recruit a new city manager, so that takes priority. Also, if you move down to Section C under that, we've been through a lot of transition, not only citywide, but also with the individual departments. And one of the things that has been overlooked for a period of time is succession planning and making sure that we are training up those that work for our organization so they can be the next leaders. And so we are going to prioritize training and development of our current staff so that we make sure that we've got the next leaders leading us into that next generation of activity and work for this city to have them as prepared as possible. If you go down then on page 6, we're just removing some programs that we're not currently working on. That was about the vacant and abandoned properties. That was something we had started prior to COVID. That has taken a back seat a bit, and so we will revisit whether or not that makes sense for us with community development. Then if you continue on down the strategic plan, we've just updated a few different measures for the plan itself related to the economic development. Otherwise, it remains status quo there. We have added an item related to the USS Beloit Legacy Foundation. We do provide staff support for them so that we can continue to maintain a relationship between the city and the ship and its members. And then finally, under C, we talk about the capital improvement projects, and most significantly, we have on the horizon the discussion of a police station, and also we really need to have some hard discussions about the park facilities that we have that are aging and that are in need of significant help and repair. And so those are the two things I think that you really need to focus on when you're doing your budget for the next year, is how we are going to make decisions regarding those so that we can use our resources to the best of our ability. I would encourage the council, I believe that a workshop is due in 2026 so that you can revisit some of these goals. These goals have been in place for a number of years and are ripe for discussion about whether we're going to continue those. But it is a solid plan for 2025. We just made some updates that we know exist, and we wanted to make sure made its way to the plan.
Thank you. Can we get a motion?
Move.
Motion by Terrell, second by Day. So I guess for me, I want to make sure, I like the workshop idea. If we can look at sometime in June or July, to establish a workshop. I mean, I know it's way out there, but I think if we start looking towards that or putting it on the calendar some kind of way. Now, it'll be after the election, so some of us who are running,
Yeah, I think it's important to have the strategic plan in the summer. It's usually been that way, so we would make note that that happened before the 2027 budget is fully developed, so we'll have it sometime in June or July.
And if we can continue to get periodic updates on where we are with some of the goals that's in here, like the police department, the parks and stuff that's in there, so we can know that we're making progress on those as well.
Sure. The performance measures for the 2025 plan are due out in March, so you'll have the annual numbers reflective of the 2025 plan. With regard to specific goals, I can certainly update you as we go. Some of the discussions will be workshops with council because they're those high-ticket items that are going to affect service delivery and, capital projects. So we will certainly make sure that we do keep council alerted to any large items, but then also make sure we engage you with the workshops so that we can get your direction for certain policy choices.
Thank you. Anybody else? Supervisor Adama?
Yeah, I just also
Counselor Adama.
that the red lines that are crossed out, the developing range for future water and waste needs and some of those things, that stuff we completed?
Yes.
Nice.
Anyone else? Seeing none, we do have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approval say aye.
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 Any opposed? That passes. Next item, please.
Item 13 is adjournment.
Is there a motion to adjourn? So moved. Motion by Adama. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Forbeck. All those in favor
Whoa.
say aye. Say aye.
Before we close out, I think the most important thing we should do at this moment is introduce our new police chief, since this is our first council meeting being here. If we don't mind,
I'm conducting
Chanel
business.
Stewart. Just want to clap for her. Welcome to Beloit.
Chief Stewart has been with us now for 2 weeks, and she's made quite an impact in the time that she's been here. If you were unable to make her swearing-in ceremony, it was probably one of the most beautiful ceremonies I think I've been a part of at the city. And you did have her already working out in the hallway when the councilor comments were going on, so I think it's a good opportunity to welcome her to the community.
Welcome.
Thank you all so much. I was getting feedback from some of the officers from the state of Illinois and also Wisconsin. And one of the great things that I heard, they said it was someone said one of the most transformational ceremonies they had ever been a part of. And that is a dedication to the city of Beloit, this incredible city team, the police department, and the community. So I want to thank you all so much for everything.
You're so welcome.
Special thank you to the Masters of Ceremony, who did an amazing job.
Thank you. We do have a motion and a second. All those in favor of adjournment say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, hearing none, we are adjourned.
All right.